What's going on, ZERT Nation? XP001 here. It's Friday, right before New Year's. Just want to do this video on a food for thought. Due to a lot of you guys know, I have another company where I do a lot of security consulting and protection work, and I got a call from a client asking some questions, and it really made me think about how this can apply to everyone, from people that conceal carry to armed officers, law enforcement, close protection professionals, law-abiding citizens, etc. So I thought, I made up this little term called "guns are like muscles." Just because you have them doesn't mean you necessarily know how to use them. And where I got that from was an incident from the gym, but I'll leave that for another story. But one of my clients called. They implemented a overt approach to their security measures, where they hired a security company that has armed securities on their facility, and they have quite a few. They'll have anywhere up to 8 armed officers working a day, which is a lot in my opinion, which is great. So when they implemented that, they didn't really have a security manager or a director, because basically the only thing I do is facilitate their international travel for the owners. So they gave me a call and they wanted an outside opinion on it. So the first thing about it is, when you look at protection work or site security, is risk mitigation and risk management, right? So it's not only to protect the company's personnel, but it's also there to protect the brand, right? So I went down, and the armed officers they had on site, extremely professional, more professional than across the board that I've seen. Very clean-cut, squared away young men and military-age males and some older guys. But my biggest concern when it comes to risk mitigation is I had them call up the company so I can talk to their supervisor and manager, and the first questions I ask is, what type of internal training programs do they have for the officers that are embedded with my client's company? Is it monthly, quarterly, or yearly? And the answer was none. They met the state requirement for firearms and qualifications, and it's up to them as an individual. So that was the wrong answer for me. And I directed the client that just because someone's armed doesn't mean that they are proficient or up to standards to protect not only the employees or the brand. Shooting's a perishable trait, okay? But shooting's just one factor, So if he said, hey, we give quarterly firearms training, use of force, de-escalation. Use of force and de-escalation are 2 separate training elements. Surveillance, human behavior. How do we teach that security mindset for these guys to be proactive versus reactive? So that was a very bad answer from the supervisor from this company, because I basically told my client, I don't feel comfortable with someone who I don't know their proficiency level or background, protect the brand. They can maybe completely confident of protecting the employee, but the incident that I always bring up is last year there was a jewelry store here in Vegas that employed a very big security firm for armed security and loss prevention. The store was robbed. The guy went in. The robber came in gunpoint, held up. The security officer drew, fired, missed the robber, and killed a sales associate that worked there for years. Now, that was bad, and I hate bringing it up, but it's a reality that just because we have someone there doesn't mean that they're gonna, can confidently confront or eliminate that threat without harming any of the employees or damaging the company brand. So now we got lawsuits. So he immediately put in with that company, say, if you want to continue this contract, you have to ensure me that they have monthly, remedial firearms training. And we're like, well, the cost is going to go up. Well, if that's what I have to do to pay and protect for the brand, to continue services, then so be it. But guys, when we talk about, and this strictly goes for CCW holders as well, there's people, law-abiding citizens, that just because you have a gun doesn't mean you know how to use it. If you had to present that firearm in deadly force encounter in a coffee shop, what is your background? Is it employees? Is it patrons? Is it a window going out into a major intersection? Is it a parking lot? You got to be accountable for every round you throw down range. Last year, I talked about it in the live feed. One of our teams down south had was on a protective detail for a net worth executive down South America. He had a meeting. The protective intelligence they did do their due diligence on the air. Protective intelligence sets the tone of the operation. What's going on? Well, one thing that they didn't understand is that the meeting that their client was meeting with, there was a hit on that client that was not aware of, and during that meeting, an incident happened where they ended up drawing and shooting a attacker that was not attacking their client, was attacking the guy that the client's partner that they're having a meeting on. Shot, killed the guy, but threw around and hit a 9-year-old kid. So going down, it's like, hey, I wasn't there, I can't quarterback that, but the fact is that you must be able to run that gun at a subconscious level so you can concentrate at the task at hand, which may be tactics, situational awareness, critical thinking, or understanding what your backdrop is and knowing what to do. It's like, hey, if I would have shifted one step left or right, that would have cleared my backdrop. If I would have just took a knee, that would have cleared my backdrop. Hold on one second. Hello. Is that for Z.E.R.T or?
Yes. Well, I have some Z.E.R.T.
Okay. Yeah.
It's up there.
I'll grab it. I thought you were delivering here. Sorry. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Got off track. So, like I said before, just because you know how to have it doesn't mean you can properly use it. So when we talk about training, guys, shooting's a perishable trait, but shooting's not the end all, guys. You got to invest in combatives. A lot of guys go, hey, I feel naked when I don't have my gun because I can't bring it into a venue. Well, honestly, I don't, because I'm proactive when I go to a venue because of my training in the close protection industry of like how many steps can I create, how many layers can we create for our client. If I've been in venues in major cities where our detail had to leave all of our firearms in the car, but the fact is we do advanced work, we have protective intelligence, and we know what layers to put in place to mitigate any type of threat, so we're being more proactive versus reactive, right? So shooting, combatives, go to security training, risk management, risk analysis, steady surveillance detection, human behavior, principles of protection. There's programs online that you can do force protection where you understand how layers of security works, what you can do, and you can apply that to your home, your estate. So those are just a couple key points, guys, because there's a lot of guys that I know that I shot with over the years that are completely strong and competent shooters. There's one individual, I won't name, I've known him for years, and the last time we talked was probably about 2009, and we were shooting a competition. He got so frustrated that like he threw down his gun and he stomped off. I'm like, where are you going? It's like, this is fucking bullshit, blah, 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 and he stormed off. So he called, he's like, hey man, do you think you can get me, months later he calls me and he's just like, do you think you can get me on one of your details? I know how to run a gun. I go, yeah, you do, but you're mentally weak. And he was just like, see, so I'm like, dude, you threw a fit and quit during a match. It was like 70 degrees outside. It was a beautiful day. We were having fun and just shooting and high-five, and you had a little fucking tissy fit and stormed off. That's a weak mindset. You fucked up, go, hey man, I'm gonna not beat myself up, but I'm gonna make it up on this next stage. That's why I like competitive shooting, because it brings the best competitiveness out of all of us. And if we fuck up one stage, we're like, all right, man, I got to get my shit together to kind of pull up my score or my time, or I need to just focus on. A lot of you guys that shot with me, sometimes I try to go balls to the wall. Sometimes I go, I'm not going to be the fastest guy on the stage, but I'm going to have all alphas. I'm going to have all hits, So, mindset is one thing, guys. Being competent with a firearm is one thing. Being confident in your ability with your hands is another, and having that proactive mindset. A lot of people there's a misconception in the protection industry, hard skills, driving, shooting, combatives, that's 1% of the job. That's the reactive portion, right? 99% of it is being able to function at an executive level. That's why they call it executive protection, right? Or diplomatic level. And 2 is having the mindset to and skill set to put a proactive approach. How many layers of security can we put between us and any potential threat, regardless of we're in a vehicle, car, environment, etc. So that's what I talked about in that last live feed when I was at Universal Studios, is that baseline, building that baseline so you know what the norm is, so you can quickly identify any potential threats, or you can say, hey, this is the baseline, this is what we need to look for, so what steps and measures we need to put in place to prevent that. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you just tuned in, go back. I hope it's a lot of good information for you guys. New Year's is coming up, guys. Be safe, be vigilant. I like I said before, I love human behavior, micro mannerisms. So when you're at a party, you're at an event, know your exits. I always back my car in. Is one thing, but knowing your exits, do they have security? Are they checking bags, etc.? But then when you're looking at people, you're looking at their mannerisms. I do a lot of event security, or I do a lot of advances for events for ministries, right? So I always joke around when I coordinate with the federal and local law enforcement, if they're not singing, praying, or crying, they're suspect, because that's the baseline. So if someone's just sitting there dead stare, that's an issue. That's creating that baseline, right? So when you're looking at people and you're at a party, everyone's having fun, what is their demeanor? What are they wearing? Do they have a backpack? Are they focused on someone or something? Is that thing that they're focused on, is that another individual that they're targeting, or is that another individual that they're in cahoots with to plan something? So these are all those little things we talked, for days about that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I want you guys to have a safe, New Year. I want to thank you guys, for all your support, for supporting us for 2017. We're a business. We had some great peaks and some great accomplishments, but we had a few mistakes along the road. But we're going to clarify that. We're going to think lean, mean for 2018. Should be a little quote. Potent, you don't know it. So other than that, any questions, Scott?
No, we're all clear.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much. Happy New Year's. God bless, and I'll talk to you soon. I'm XP001. Out.
ZERT is what you make it. Your drive and dedication to improving your skills and helping to build a community of like-minded individuals in your area is up to you. ZERT Community Network and Training is an opportunity. Take it as far as you desire, and remember that you reap what you sow. In life, nothing that has high value comes easily. You have to want it, and you have to have the drive to make it happen. So get involved. Most importantly, always train to help better yourself so you can protect the ones you love. ZERT is not just an organization, it's a lifestyle. ZERTnation.com